Hey everybody, it's Jim, and I just wanted to record a quick video here. Well, it probably won't be that quick, but hopefully it answers some more marketing related questions about this service of providing WordPress maintenance to local businesses. Part of the reason for this video is I got a question from a buyer who was just wondering how I target businesses for this. Like, how do I figure out who needs this? And I certainly, looking at my other video and stuff, I didn't mean to like leave that out, or anything like that. I don't have anything to hide here. Part of it is that it's a pretty simple process for me, and I don't have a very complex process. So, the way I settled on what I'm going to show you here and what I talked about in the other video is, there's some really sophisticated marketers out there who are, really good salespeople and especially in person and, on the phone and maybe even in email and stuff. And, that's, I'm not like a pro salesperson. And so, the way I kind of landed on this approach that I take, which is, just asking business owners if they have a problem with their website that they need fixed is, for a long time I was kind of marketing my services and trying to, do sales and stuff, and it didn't, it was hard. And what I discovered is, when I was just kind of thinking about different clients that I'd gotten over time, is that a lot of the, there was this recurring pattern of people who I got referred to, or I just stumbled across when I met them or whatever. But, the situation was they had a problem on their website and they just needed help getting it fixed. And, so it wasn't like they needed a new website necessarily, although, we've turned it into that a couple of times. It wasn't like they were coming to me looking for, getting leads or something like that. It was just this simple, like, hey, we've got some issues and we can't get a hold of our old web designer anymore. And they don't really know where to turn. It's like, the perception is that, they're going to open up the phone book or, call some marketing agency to fix this, and it's going to cost them thousands of dollars. And so they kind of just, don't know what to do. And so anyway, I just kind of took that and thought, maybe I should just kind of shift my marketing away from, hey, here's all the benefits of, what I can do and why you need a better website and et cetera, and just shift the whole thing to be more about like, do you have an issue? If yes, then I can help you fix it. Or I might be able to help you fix it. And just let the conversation go from there, right? And so that's what I do now. Frankly, so I've got Google open here, and I don't even, it's like, I know this training is for WordPress related websites, and that's really all I work with, but I don't even worry about that when I'm prospecting. The first thing I'll do is just look for like, let's just look for like Denver landscape design companies. So, and then what I'll do is I literally just go through and just start taking note of every business that's listed here. Okay, and I put them in a spreadsheet. Okay, and I'll just show that to you. It's nothing special. I would have included this if I'd known like that, or if I thought it would be helpful, but there's really nothing like special about it. But all I'm doing is basically just going through, and I just list the name of the company and their website. Like, I just copy and paste it from Google, paste it in here, and then basically I just have like 1, 2, 3. So generally I'll send 3 emails to each company, unless they respond after the first one or the second one or whatever. But I just follow up 3 times and just ask them, the simple question if they need help with anything with their website. Now, I included, if you bought the either the business in a box upsell or the marketing materials, then you basically get the email swipes. So I've got a couple different variations on it. So one is just ask them straight out if they've got a problem, and then there's a couple of variations on that I send. But this is the basic process, and all I do is basically just when I'm in Google or whatever, and I just keep track of this in the spreadsheet just so I know who I've contacted and who I've not contacted. And I just pick a niche. I mean, it's not landscapers. I've got one landscape client, but I don't have a specific niche that I've discovered that works better than another for this service. It does seem like I've got a couple of attorneys, but the main thing is just finding somebody who needs help right now. And so and all I do with the whole thing is now you get like things from Yelp and stuff like that, but you go in and sometimes a lot of the companies I'm actually sending these to are off the first page. They may be second, third, fourth page of Google search results. But all I'm doing is going to the contact form and sending them a note right through the contact form. Now, another thing I'll do sometimes is I'll look for their email address somewhere on the site and see if I can have that, or if I can find that, even if it's like an info at Designscapes in this case. Then I may send to that email instead of using the contact form. But either way, I mean, the point is like I'll just reach out either through the form or through the email address they have listed here on the site, and then send them my email and ask them. And so it's really just a numbers game. There's nothing special here. And I mean, this website WordPress? Well, I'm technical enough to know that I can view the page source here and we can look and see whether this is a WordPress site or not. And it looks like it is. But let's just scroll down here a little bit. But I don't even worry about that on this, so let's just close that. But, I don't even worry about that beforehand because, it doesn't matter until they get back to me. And so, if I reach out to these guys and they come back to me and say, yeah, let's, we do have something that we could use a hand on, then I'll go and do some more research on the site. Now, as I'm going through my list, sometimes what you'll find is there's people who need this way more than others, right? So let's go back here to our designs. And, so if we go, let's just go like 4 pages in. And, you'll find as you start getting down the list that, sometimes people have a pretty bad website. And so, if that's the case, then, maybe I'll just keep following up with them. And really sort of, leaning into it until they tell me no. But, I guess the point is like, this is just a numbers game from the perspective of you're just trying to find the low-hanging fruit, like the people who raise their hand and say, yeah, I actually do need a hand. And the reason I settle, I like this approach and I recommended it for you guys is because it's, we're not the only ones, right? Like what I'm showing you here is, probably the number one marketing method for offliners, right? At the end of the day, you have to, there's no magic button for getting clients. It's just, you have to have a valuable service and you have to go and find the clients who need it, right? And that's just a process of, doing what you're comfortable with, whether that's cold emailing, cold calling, or, networking, or some combination of all of those. And, and that's really what it takes. And, no matter who you are and what you've got to sell, it's always a numbers game. It's always just about finding those people who need help and then helping them. right? And so that's all we're doing here. But the reason I think this works so well is because everybody is approaching them with you know trying to rank #1 in Google, at how that's going to get them more leads, and or here's the latest paid advertising thing that you're missing out on that's going to save you tons of money. And and this one really, with what I'm showing you here is just they've already got a problem. It's kind of like the tire shop, when you've got a flat tire, it's like that's the time you go to the tire shop. Well, when you find somebody here who has a problem on their website, and it could be anything. It could be that they've got staff on the website who no longer work there. It could be that they've got broken images. I don't even look for this stuff. I just literally email these companies and just add them to my spreadsheet, and then I just follow up with them. And that's the whole process right there. I don't look for any specific problems. So when it's like, how do you find these guys? It's really just, for me, it's just reaching out and contacting businesses until I find the ones that say yes. And so that's how I do it. I hope that's helpful for you guys, because there's certainly a lot more filtering and science we could apply to this, but you don't have to. I just keep it simple and just pound out just sending the emails, and you keep sending them out, and you do get responses. So that's really all there is to it. And it really isn't a niche specific thing. It isn't I don't worry anything about like what the problem may be up front. I just wait until people raise their hand and tell me they need help. Then I'm going to investigate. If it's not a WordPress site and they say they need help, then I'll just make a judgment call, and say whether that's something I'm going to, outsource, and just basically do the arbitrage thing where, I tell them I'll help them, and then, charge them one price and then go hire somebody on Upwork to do the work, and just become the middleman. That's one way to do it. Or sometimes, I'll just tell them I can't help them. That's another way. So, yeah, that is my marketing in a nutshell right there. So, it's not, it works. So, I encourage you to give it a try, and, really send out emails for 30 days and see what happens, because, that's where you're going to get results is just persistence with it, and, sending a lot of emails. So, or making phone calls if you're comfortable doing that. If you're comfortable making phone calls, you'll probably even do better. That's it with the marketing. I just wanted to show you exactly kind of what the process looks like from my perspective. And so I appreciate you joining me, and we'll see you in the next videos, okay?